President.
The Senator for Missouri.
Mr. President, we are 40 days today from a general election. 40 days. 40 days until the American people make their choice. Or at least that's the idea. But there are a group of people who seem intent on influencing the people's choice, on manipulating it, on shaping it according to their own preferences. And I'm not talking about China or Russia or Iran. I'm talking about a group of corporations, the most powerful corporations in the history of this nation, the most powerful corporations in the history of the world. I'm talking about big tech. We know who they are. They run the giant digital platforms, the places where Americans communicate and share their opinions. But those platforms are more than that. They're more than places to talk or buy things. Facebook and Google, Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, these are the platforms that control more and more of our daily lives. And yes, I said control. These platforms control our social communication, the way that we talk to each other, when and how, where, and on what terms. They control what news we read, or even what news we see. They control more and more journalism in America, right down to what's in news articles and how the headlines are written. They control how elected officials communicate with their constituents, when they can run advertisements, what their messages can say and can't. And they want to control us. The big tech platforms relentlessly spy on their customers, you and me. They track us around the web. They monitor our every move online, and even when we're offline, they track our location, whether we're in a car or riding a bike or on the street. They track the websites that we visit and when. They track the things that we buy. They track the videos that we watch. They track what our children are doing. They track everything, all with the purpose of getting enough information on each one of us to influence us, to shape our preferences and opinions and viewpoints. This is enormous power, unheard of power. And the big tech platforms are intent on using it. They are intent on using it in this election. Let's just cut to the chase. The big tech platforms are owned and operated by woke capitalists. They're leftists. They're liberals. They're not conservatives. They're no friend to conservatives. They fervently opposed the election of Donald Trump and other conservatives in 2016. They fervently oppose it this year. And now they're trying to use their power to shape the outcome of an election. For months, the tech platforms have been engaging in escalating acts of censorship, political censorship, aimed at conservatives. They've censored the President of the United States. They have banned pro-life groups from their sites. They have tried to silence independent conservative journalists like The Federalist. Now, this censorship is never against liberals, notice. Now, Joe Biden isn't censored. Pro-choice groups aren't discriminated against. Liberal news sites, they don't get threatened and bullied and shut out. No, big tech targets conservatives for censorship for a simple reason. They don't like conservatives. They don't agree with conservatives. They don't want to see conservatives get elected. And here's the thing. If they are allowed to use their power in this way, if they are permitted to leverage their control over news and information and data to silence the voices of conservatives, then we will be turning control of our government over to them. We'll be turning control of our elections over to them, control of the nation to them. And let's just be clear, no corporation should run America. No set of corporate overlords should substitute their judgment for the judgment of we the people. No woke capitalist should be able to shape the outcome of an election by silencing speech. And that's why we have to act, and act today. There is a simple, straightforward solution to the censorship power of these digital platforms. Let those who have been censored claim their rights. Let them sue. Let them go to court. Let them challenge the decisions of the tech platforms and have their day before the bar of the law. Now, right now, federal law prohibits this. It prevents Americans from challenging the tech platforms and their censorship. It prevents Americans from challenging just about anything that the tech companies do. That should change. And that is why today, Mr. President, I urge this body to adopt my legislation, which I proudly have introduced along with Senator Rubio and Senator Cotton, Senator Braun, and Senator Loeffler, to give every American who is unfairly censored the right to have his or her day in court, the right to stand and be heard, the right to fairness and due process of law. This is a stand we must take in defense of free speech, in defense of our elections, but more importantly, above all, in defense of our democracy and the rule of we the people. And so I ask unanimous consent that the Committee of Commerce be discharged from further consideration of S. 3983 and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration. I ask unanimous consent that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?